Hello, hello, this is Chris Park. This is my final video for this Kickstarter campaign for AI War 2. This obviously won't be my final video for AI War 2. We're just getting started here, but this is the last one of the campaign, which is a little bit bittersweet. But hey, stick around to the end because I'm going to play you part of a track that you have never heard before that is by Pablo Vega and that has his wife, Hunter, singing amazingly. So if you want to skip to the last 2 minutes of this, you don't want to hear me, roughly 3 minutes of this, then go right ahead. I'll just pan around and stuff and show you pretty sights while that track plays. So at any rate, what's new this week? So I had talked before about updating, doing various things to kind of fix some of the visual glitches that you saw last week in the squads. Um, Honestly, I didn't really do much of that because getting a bunch of stuff ready for Keith, and then I did fix some of the glitches, like these things being like way too big when you get close, so they look proper now. I also uh, worked on the glow. First of all, I'm using Beautify now, which is a um, asset store component that is really cool for Unity that really helps bring out sharpness and saturation and things. But then I'm still using Amplify Bloom, but I'm no longer using lens flares on it, just using the bloom, and I'm not using lens dirt either anymore. You'll notice a couple of things that are new that I wanted to show you. One is this. This is the light capital ship. If you're a fan of AI War Classic, you probably recognize this. It's rendered in 3D now, courtesy of Blue. Oh man, I need to make my slow scrolling button mapped, but actually I can do that right now. Um, let's see here. Orders to existing unit, blah, 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 blah. Where to put it? Speed up, slow down. So put it left control. And, oh, it's already in use. That's why it was. All right, let's use Z. Yeah, okay. So now when I hold Z and move around, it's slower. Yeah, kind of neat. Still a bit on the fast side. That's one of those things that I get to tune later. Some more battle going on over there. You'll notice that the light starship at the moment still just has the standard shots that the fighters are using, but that's just a temporary thing. I did fix the thing where the fighters were having just a ton of shots stacked up. Now they actually come out in bursts instead of all like sitting here in a mass and then coming out. So that's pretty cool too. And the icon thing I think I already mentioned. Worked on the shader and so forth a fair bit to get the normal maps to be a little bit less harsh on this. And so basically able to tune the normal maps, which basically give the illusion of extra geometry where there's not any. Tuned that, so it made it so that with the shader I can tune that per model, which is pretty nice. This is a fairly complicated model, relatively speaking. It's in a couple of parts, which is what we're going to be doing for the capital shifts. And you'll see that it's got a light side and a dark side when it's in shadow and so forth. One side's in shadow, one side's not. And that of course lines up with the planet and everything. And doing some really cool effects here with the Fresnel effect of the rim shader, and that plays into the normal maps a lot. So you can see the cool blue that's going on there. It gives it this neat shine. And then Blue, the artist, Daniette, and I have been working on getting the emission maps a little more the way that we want, and a few other things like that. And so you can really see a difference in quality on the emission maps on this thing. And even on these too, redone the emission maps quite a bit, and it gives a better uh, result. And I had mentioned last week that I was thinking about making it so the individual ships themselves had like team colors applied to them, but I've actually kind of backed off of that idea because we can do a lot more in the color space, and give you cooler looking ships if we individually paint them and let Blue's creativity and so forth come out in that. And so just sticking with the contrails and the actual like selection icons, it's super clear what belongs to who. And you just aren't gonna get this sort of like, if everything's all monochrome all the time, I mean, you run into that with a lot of strategy games, and especially in something that is PvE for the where you're a lot of people are going to be playing solo against an enemy empire, and other people are going to be playing with some teammates. You'll be able to tell you and your teammates stuff apart with the color of the icons that you have, just like this. And but actually having the ship colors be the same is not a crisis, I think. And that will actually play really well into like the spire and stuff too, as we get into doing some subsurface shaders and stuff. So I also mentioned that we've had some really tempy buildings and stuff that just kind of threw together from some asset store assets. So like this one here is a good example of that. That's a real tempy building that was just thrown together, and not something that's like our actual art style, but it's coming along. This one here is ours. This is the space dock, brand new this week. Blue notes that she's mostly happy with these, but there's a couple of things she wants to change now that she's seen it live. But you can see just all the cool stuff that we're doing with the emission maps there with all the different colors. And then I decided to just go ahead and animate that central hub just to give a little bit of extra visual interest. I thought that was pretty cool. And the ships come popping out of there and moving around. I honestly don't remember if hovering was there last week, where it shows what you're hovered over. I think maybe it wasn't, but at any rate, it is now. And then the really big thing that is new is dun, da, 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 galaxy map. Actually, need to be able to zoom this out more. Is now immediately clear. So this is the clusters map type. And so this is showing everything at the moment. And I'm uncertain as to how I want to proceed, kind of is the default method with the galaxy maps. There's something to be said for being able to see the whole network from the start, but not know what's on them. But then again, there's something to be said for just seeing a planet or two and expanding out. In the original game, we had the option to have either, I think, fully explored or see what you start with. But might be interesting to have kind of an in-between option where it's this glow is way too intense here. Sorry about that. I just need to turn down these lines. At any rate, it might be nice to have an in-between option where we are essentially showing like what you see now. Essentially, you can see the planets, the planet names, but not really anything else. So I can hover over these things. It's not a real tooltip, obviously, but and it's not. There's other data that this would be showing normally in terms of like the plan that I'm having with this is that instead of showing like, oh, these are most of these are owned by the AI. That should be assumed as a default sort of a thing. So why clutter that up saying, well, this is owned by the AI, this is owned by the AI, this is owned by the AI. Instead, for the ones that you own, why not show those and then show a little like a ring or something along those lines and show like a kind of a star shape, kind of along the lines of, oh boy, I'm dying over here. Kind of like we have a star around that, the starships here. And then we've got actual rings that go around the other ones. Um, that same sort of principle here. Um, and then we'll show, what's a Mark II, what's Mark III, Mark IV planets and stuff like that. But, we want to be able to see all of the information on the galaxy map in a way that's clear. But at the same time, I do greatly enjoy kind of the simplicity of, um, the simplicity and the beauty of what we see right here. And what's really cool is you can click into these. This is what they actually look like at that planet. So I clicked into the Brooks here. This is Brooks and Abitibul, and that's what that looks like. And Arden's here and Hillis, and so they actually look like they look. And yeah, this one's got lightning storms and so forth. You click here, it's the same lightning storms, same planet. So I really like that because it gives you an immediate sense of place. Obviously, we're just looking at this for a moment in time on the galaxy map. But I mean, in this particular video, but if you are playing this for hours and hours, then you're going to have an intuitive memory of, okay, I started on this gas giant here. And, so when you're looking out here at the galaxy map, then you're able to say, ah, yeah, that's that gas giant of mine. There aren't any others that look exactly like that right around here. So, okay, yeah, that's that one. It's, that's good old. I guess that's cock. I don't know, cocky. I don't know. These are scientists' last names. Um, but yeah. I also redid the wormhole visuals. I was doing vertex animations in the other ones, and it was a clever sort of a look, and it had like, I think it required 4 separate meshes to do it and stuff, but uh, it just rubbed me the wrong way the more I looked at it. And I do need to adjust the glow on a few of these things, but this one's kind of cool. Oh, that's got an interesting layering issue I need to deal with. Not a big deal. It's only with the ring. That's neat. One of the many, it's just one of the little foibles of 3D, but easily fixed. I just need to change I need to move it into the alpha pipeline instead of the geometry pipeline. I thought I could get away with the geometry one, but nope. So anyway, this one has only one mesh. It is using a vertex blending thing. This is not a custom shader that I created. This is actually I think this is one of the standard water shaders from Unity, but these things have a bajillion little things that you can use to tune them. And so this is kind of a standard sphere with their water shader on it, but then I've tuned it and changed it's using a specific height map and bump map, which is pretty important into how this winds up looking. And with the orientation, with the way that the UV offsetting is going, it's actually a simpler effect than the other one. It's UV animation instead of vertex animation. But the UV animation it's doing is of the, in this case, normal map, not height map. That's probably way more technical than you actually care about. I apologize. I sit here and just it's fun to me. I enjoy this sort of thing, and really getting to see the little bitty details. I don't know if YouTube's gonna kind of compress that out, but you can see a little bit of specular highlighting there, which gives it a little bit of sense of depth. And yes, it's a little bit transparent, which was by design, which I like because it's not in the alpha pipeline layer. it's alpha sort layer. It's showing up wrong with this, which I guess is those rings, but not a big deal. And if I control click, I can go through it. Here I am on Hemming, and I can pretty well guess that, oh, nope, that's Dean Crystal. Where was I? Hemming. Okay, so this doesn't have a ring, it's just green. Hemming, there it is. Yep, so, yeah. So there's been a variety of, oh man, that looks cool. Variety of visual improvements, and obviously a lot of work to get to the galaxy map and be able to see this properly. And there's a bunch of other underlying things that, again, I've been getting set up for Keith. And sorry, that might have been nauseating with that fast spin there. And then just really trying to kind of refine the visual side of this so that we're not overly so that we have the exact style that we're going to go with. We can just bam, 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 start going with it. I think that Blue's been doing a couple of. She's had a lot of different things going on with the Kickstarter and with some other stuff that we've had her working on. But even so, she's been just getting faster and faster with putting together these ships. And I mean, you've seen and these were bigger ships now too, and she's still been able to do like either one a day or one every other day, and that's with a bunch of other distractions like some non-ship stuff. So I've been real pleased with that result. This, of course, is another kind of tempy thing for the guard post. The one that she's working on looks much cooler. So Sudan, interesting. Apparently that's some scientist's last name. Didn't know that. Today I learned. I promised you a cool track from Pablo and Hunter. This was the victory theme from Stars Beyond Reach. Since that project is in such limbo, Pablo and I had talked about bringing over a lot of the new music that was composed for Stars Beyond Reach and bringing it over to AI War 2 because, why not? That's not in place for anything else, but just in addition to the other things we were planning on doing already, because it'd be nice to go ahead and use that music for something, and it's not been used for anything else previously, and it's really good. Some of his best work ever. So this is For the Fallen, which I feel like a radio DJ now.
If I am here and you are gone, I've done it. If skies are clear, but there's no light to look upon, I've done it. I hear the beat of the drums out on the street. I feel the heat and the fires of their defeat. And so tonight, to carry on, I've done it. I hear a grim demon's choir in the dark of the night. The cannons and the fire and the rockets ignite. A million screaming voices at the end of their life. And for what I can't decide. But I am here. And you are gone. And so tonight, the war is won. I've done it.
Well, that's something else, isn't it? The two of them are pretty amazing. So, thank you for watching and listening. And thank you to everybody for your support during this campaign as well. We've hit 2 Kickstarter goal or stretch goals, and it looks like we'll hit a third and maybe a fourth, depending on how things go in these last days. But we just want to say thank you to everybody, and we hope that you really enjoy the game that we're working on. Talk to you next time.